Okay, so this is the story of how I got Kanye West, 2 Chainz, Kid Cudi, Raekwon, Common, and Sci-Hi to Prince all on one track. Back in 2006, I met this artist named Skyzoo through a friend of mine named Crisis, who was one of the producers for Little Brother. You know, I met Ninth Wonder, Fonte, and Pooh a few years before that. I was on AOL AIM chat one day talking to Crisis, and he hit me up. He's like, hey, you know, I'm with this rapper named Skyzoo, check his music out. And he sent me a couple songs. I ended up hooking up with Skyzoo. Throughout the years, Skyzoo and I, you know, really got to know each other. In 2010, me and Skyzoo decided to do an album together, and the album was called Live from the Tape Deck. And we had a feature rapper on that album, this guy named Rhymefest. He's, you know, this legendary rapper from Chicago. One day around 2011, I get a call from Rhymefest, and he's like,
yo, I'm in the studio with Kanye, send me some beats.
I ended up sending Rhymefest like 30 or 40 beats, and he hit me back. He's like,
yo, there's this one beat that Kanye really likes, I want you to hold it for me.
So I was like, all right, bet.
Sent him the file.
Kanye records to the song. This was around August of 2012. I get a text from Rhymefest. He's like, yo, Pusha T just jumped on that beat. And I was like, oh shit. And then a couple minutes later, I get a text saying, yo, Raekwon is on this joint. A couple minutes later, he's like, yo, Kanye just jumped on it. I'm home, I'm in Brooklyn, right? And I'm getting all these text messages from Rhymefest, and I'm tripping the whole time. I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. I finally get an email from someone at Good Music, and it's this woman, and she says, there's a song that you produced that Kanye wants to use. You know, I need your publishing information and your attorney and your manager and all that stuff. I didn't have an attorney, so I had to get one really quick. Once I received that email from the woman at Def Jam, I knew this was real. Fast forward, the song comes out, and it ends up being a song called The Morning on the legendary classic Cruel Summer, Good Music, Cruel Summer compilation album. And it really was my first sort of like major label debut. You know, after all these years from, you know, 2004 of just producing for all these underground artists, all this underground stuff that I was doing sort of prepared me for this moment in 2012. You know, I felt like this placement sort of kicked off phase 2 of my career. It was sort of like me graduating from the underground and finally putting on my jersey, like, man, I'm in the big leagues. It was a long time coming. I mean, you know, that was 6 to 8 years later that I finally got a placement like that. So I'm forever thankful and indebted to the big homie Rhymefest for giving me that chance. And shout to Kanye, shout to the co-producers on the beat too. Travis Scott co-produced it along with Jeff Basker and myself. If you haven't heard it, yeah, go listen to it, man. It came out crazy. It's called The Morning, Cruel Summer. From there, my career sort of just snowballed into what it is today, 11 years later. You know, one thing I also want to mention too is that if I never met Crisis at the okplayer.com message boards back in 2003, 2004, I never would have met Skyzoo. I never would have did this album with Skyzoo, and I probably never would have met Rhymefest. So it just goes to show how far back you can trace meeting certain people and one thing leading to another to get to an actual placement. If that never happened, this placement probably never would have happened. Crazy. That's the story of how I got 6, 7 goats on one beat. I'll see you guys at the next video. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. You know, let's help the algorithm going, and you know what to do. And I'll see you at the next video. Peace.